I got up every day and didn't care about dying. In my mind, I was already dead.
Even the toughest guys who went through there were affected in ways they would not want to talk about.
I was a prison gang boss. I wanted you to know that I will kill you. That pen on your table, I'll kill you for it.
The whole Project Life is based around survival. No one ever teaches you how to live. You're automatically taught how to survive.
When I was 15, I was an animal running through these streets.
Ended a life, one bullet. It ended my life.
Home is trauma. Home is dysfunction. Home is just pain. I've been doing jail time since the 7th grade.
You know, Andre had up to 100 years. That's like life.
If young men don't see a way out, they choose drugs and violence.
Because they don't have money. Because they don't have education, they can't get a job.
This is a war zone. Hurt people tend to hurt people.
I'm locked in a cell, holding on to philosophy that's not working for me.
How do I make that decision that I'm leaving this place?
One of the things that inspired me about Malcolm X is he sat in a cell and he made it. Nelson Mandela sat in a cell and he made it. Mike Tyson came out of juvie, sat in a cell and he made it. Those are stories that touch me. For the first time in 6 years of being locked up, I said I want to go home. And the entire time I've been in jail, not one time did I think it or say it.
He made the decision to be a better man.
And for the next 8 years, I went to programs. Every single day, every chance I got. 90 minutes after I walked out of prison, I walk into a youth center. And I talk to them one-on-one. You right now have a choice to make. You can focus on what doesn't work, and you will come away with what doesn't work. You don't have to learn lessons in the penitentiary.
When we born, we all innocent little kids with that little twinkle in our eye.
The next rapist, murderer, gang member is sitting. He's sitting in the kidney garden hungry, wanting a sandwich and a hug. You don't give him the sandwich and a hug, now you try to catch him at 16.
We never have somebody that come back to help inspire, bring us up.
No one has ever said, what can I do for you? He came in here and he showed that love, that respect, the attitude of gratitude.
Prison's where people end up. It's not where they start.
I can call him for anything, and he's never left my life.
He made me realize things about myself that I probably didn't know, and I probably would have never been told.
People say you can't help people who don't want to be helped. And that's a lie and it's wrong. There's just a step before that. It's getting them ready to want help.
Treat us like humans, and we act like humans.
I've never stepped back into a prison. I can't do it. He's going there to get him out.
In 1991, I said I want to go to Harvard. No matter what they said, I kept knowing I was going to get there. And I got there. Prison reform starts in kindergarten. We can stop them from coming. If we want to fix our country, go educate people. Educated people make educated decisions.
People like Andre going into the prisons, and they're reimagining how we can produce healing.
Andre Norman created the blueprint to show the world that it can work.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Andre Norman, president of Second Chance University.
Thank you. Thank you. As introduced, my name is Andre Norman. And today, I got up this morning, I got the invitation to come to this prestigious event, and I was like, wow, I looked at the lineup. Everybody was either in the audience or I said, what am I gonna wear? I got custom suits. I got some like fly shoes. I got the Rolex. What am I gonna wear? I said, well, who am I representing? So today I wear this because this is my shame. For 14 years, I stayed in a cage and I wore one of these. And the day I stepped out, I went straight to the store and bought new clothes. I've flown around the world and bought clothes from everywhere you can think of. And I'm a clothes fanatic because this was painful. So I wear this shame today because I represent 2.2 million people who wear this every single day. My brothers and sisters across the country are suffering and they feel forgotten. And we know they're not. My mission in life has been simple. Since I've come home, I wake up every morning and I ask myself, who can I help today? And over the last 25 years, because I've been home for 25 years now, I've gone and I've answered the call. I started out working with young black boys because it was what I was comfortable with. And somebody asked me to work with girls. I said, I don't know anything about being a girl. They said, Dre, nobody talks to the girls. So I would not talk to the girls. And they went through horrendous traumas. 1 in 4 molested before high school, domestic violence, substance abuse. Then they said, hey, Dre, go talk to the white kids. I said, man, white kids ain't got no problems. They own everything. I went to a white school. They drink, they smoke. They had one little girl show me from her wrist to her ankle where she cut herself. She said, this is what I do when people don't listen to me. And I just said, if anybody calls my phone, I'll show up. And for the last 25 years of my life, that's what I've been doing. I've been going around the world and just helping people. When Guatemala was in crisis, we flew to Guatemala. When Honduras had the highest murder rate in the world, they called us and we flew to Honduras. When Liberia was post-Civil War, we flew to Liberia. And it wasn't that long ago, there was a thing called Ferguson, Black Lives Matter. When it happened, for a year plus, there was protests in the street. They called us, we flew into Ferguson, and we stopped the riots, our team. And we was consistent around showing up and being helpful. And it was in 2016, there was a gentleman named Dr. Charles Ogletree who reached out, and he said, Andre, I've been seeing your work, and I want you to come here to Harvard University. And he gave me a fellowship. And he didn't know 25 years prior, when I was sitting in a cell, a gang member, sitting in solitary confinement in a hole for 2.5 years, I said I had enough of this and I wanted to go home and go to Harvard. And everybody said it was impossible. They said, you can't do that. I said, well, why can't I go to Harvard? They said, you're black, you're a gang member, you're a criminal, you're illiterate, you're from a poor family. And they told me all the reasons I couldn't go. And I went in my room, my cell, and I wrote out a list of all the things that I needed to do to get there. And I looked in the mirror, I said, what's inside of me that's stopping this dream from happening? And I started doing the work. And over the next 8 years, 20 hours a day, I worked. And on November 15th, 1999, they opened the door. They let me out. And in 2016, Dr. Charles Ogletree gave me my fellowship. And it was like the greatest day of my life. It was like, I made it. I did what people said couldn't be done. And my friends were coming from prison, yo, Dre, what's up, man, what's poppin'? I'm like, yo, I'm at Harvard. And I don't have to sneak in. They said, you really made it? They said, Dre, you made it? You're at Harvard? I said, yeah. I said, they gave me a little desk, I'm saying, with my little plaque and my name. There was like 4 of us at the desk, but I said it was my desk. So the other little kids were like, yo, he kind of scary, so they let me have that. This is mine. And I'm like, yo, I'm really here. And to have Charles Ogletree, Henry Louis Gates, Cornel West, Anthony Appiah as mentors didn't even make sense. It didn't seem feasible. That this poor little kid from the projects who grew up in a penitentiary, who had all the disadvantages humanly possible, was now sitting at Harvard University. And I said, what's your Harvard? What do you want to be? I started challenging them to do and be better. And it wasn't that long ago, I met a company. They're out of Texas. And they have these things now. In case you don't know, this is a prison tablet. There's a company called Inventive. And the CEO named Dave Abel, super good guy. He said, Andre, you visit prisons all over the country. That's what every week I go to another prison. Every week I'm in another prison. Every week I'm in another prison. And I'm trying my best to be helpful. And he showed me this. He said, if you make a video or a training, I can hit a button and put your information in front of 650,000 inmates at one time. So what we do now, we have Second Chance University, where we educate people in real time on these habits. They're not left behind just because they're in Nevada or Wyoming. They're not left behind because they're in Fulton County or Rice Street. They're not left behind regardless where they are. They could be in their cells, on death row, in solitary or GP or protective custody, and we can reach them in real time. The reason I'm here is because I wanted you to know that I'm not the only one. I'm not. There are millions of people who are sitting in a cell waiting for the chance that I waited for. And that chance was a mentor with positive reinforcement and a guiding hand. Now, my first mentor was an Orthodox Jewish rabbi. He knew nothing about being black. I knew nothing about being Jewish. But he was a great teacher, and I was a great student. And he taught me how to be respectful, accountable, attentive, you know what I'm saying, a servant leader, and I listened, and he taught. I got another mentor, and I got another mentor. I got another mentor. And I just kept getting mentors, and I kept enhancing my life. I never got a degree from Harvard, but I got skills along the way that helped me open companies and do things around the world. I've been over 30 countries already, and it's a phenomenal thing to have a passport and just jump on a plane and go. It's like, I can just do that. It's like, why not? And I say to my brothers, why aren't you trying to go beyond these 4 square blocks that you grew up in? They said, Dre, we can't go behind these 4 square blocks. This is where we're supposed to be. We're not welcome downtown because I don't have a suit. I don't have nice cufflinks. I don't have a tie. I don't have money to sit in there. I don't know how to sit. I don't know how to sit at the table around all these people. And it's time that we embrace our brothers and sisters. I remember I worked at a nonprofit that was attached to a church. And the church had prayed for 15 years to help gang members. And I came and I worked at the nonprofit, and one day the pastor said, how come none of you come to church? I said, we never been invited. So we got all this, yeah, bring your brothers in. So Sunday we had like 20 brothers upstairs in the vestibule, but then the deacon came in. He said, yo, Dre, what you doing? So we about to go to church with pastor. He said, pastor, hold on. Me, the pastor, and the deacon went down into the church, stopped music. He said, listen, we've been praying for 20 years for the brothers. We've been praying religiously and fasting religiously for the brothers. They're like this. They said, do we want them? They said, yes. They said, good, because they're upstairs. They said, do we really want them? And everybody said yes. And we came downstairs, and within 2 months, it was all out the front door. They're clutching their purse, holding their wife, hiding their stuff. I'm like, I'm not here to steal your stuff. Trust me, don't want your wife, we good. But they said they wanted us till we got there. Do you want us? Do you really want us? Because we will show up and we will show out and we can do immensely great things in the world. This group, these people, Mr. Bryant, and all the people who are here, including yourselves, I appreciate you. But before I leave this stage, I'd be remiss to think that if there's 1,000, 2,000 people in this audience, not one of you has a struggling son or daughter, a struggling sibling, a struggling spouse. So if any of you are dealing with someone in your family dealing with depression, drug addiction, fentanyl, stressed out, and you're sitting here, you look nice, you dress up well. Y'all dress up well. But some of you were on the phone before you came in, talking, is he okay? Is she okay? I gotta go into this meeting, I'll be right back, I'll check after lunch. If you are struggling in your family, let me help you. Before we go save the world, let's save your child. Because I got a saying, never jump on your own to save somebody else's. Everybody here is committed to your well-being as well as the next generations. But what good does it do to do all the great work and lose your own child? So if your child is in need or your loved one is in need, please reach out. We're here for you. For me to be one of the biggest interventionists in the world and you say, oh, that was great, clap, but my son's struggling, I'm not going to call him. No. So ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. I appreciate you showing up. It's been phenomenal. And we know where to find them. They're in elementary school. Thank you.